Today, we'll bring you another installment from this season's ultimate riding tour of the Catskill Mountains. After touring a micro distillery and the site of the 1969 Woodstock Music Fest, we receive a tip on one of the best riding roads in America. Speaking of ultimate rides, today we'll step into the time capsule as we look at a classic early 1970s motorcycle that marked an end of an era. Then we'll head out to the West Coast, to Duncan, BC, to catch up with rookie adventure rider Matt Fletcher as he gets a lesson in downhill riding. Plus, over in the contest corner, Kylie will give us another valuable clue in our contest giveaway. All this and more as TSN presents Motorcycle Experience. Hello and welcome to Motorcycle Experience, the voice of motorcyclists everywhere. I'm Dave Hatton. This week we kick off our show by sampling a brand new middleweight street machine that was used recently by Honda Canada to launch a whole new category of motorcycling, the Honda NC 700S. Behold one of Honda's newest attempts to get you off the couch and into motorcycling, the NC 700S. A couple of weeks ago, we sampled this puppy's littermate, the NC 700X. It sports pretty much the same platform or running gear as the more naked S, only it's been repurposed to satisfy the adventurous side of your personality. As for the 700S, this liquid-cooled 670cc runner has been designed from the ground up to be the perfect starting platform for all your motorcycle fantasies. Looking for a great user-friendly commuting tool? The NC700S sports a fuel-injected power plant that's reported to sip fuel, while the engine's forward-canted parallel twin cylinders definitely lowers the bike's center of gravity, helping to make it nimble in city traffic. For longer trips, this Honda has a really nice upright riding position with plenty of leg room and arm reach to let you move around in the saddle. And the combined braking system with ABS will slow you down quick should traffic suddenly come to a halt out on the freeway. So with that little introduction complete, I'll let longtime viewer and Harley owner Mark Campbell pick up the story. So Mark, a little bit of a rough start to the day today. We had to get you on the phone and remind you that you were coming out to do this. You caught up with us, but you didn't even know you were riding this NC 700. What did you think when you first saw it?
Well, first of all, it was great that I got the reminder phone call, and even though I was behind on the schedule, I soon caught up because it's an easy bike to hop on.
Yeah.
It was there waiting for me, key in it, and no hesitation to hop on and ride. And the engine talked to me quite well. Mm-hmm. Like, took me a while to determine where the RPM was on it because it's a digital readout.
Right.
Not really more used to a dial.
Yeah.
But the engine, I could just feel when it needed to shift.
Yeah.
It was good.
I know when I first rode it, my impression was just how smooth that engine is and how quiet everything is. What was your impression of the engine?
Very quiet, and yet at the same time too, on the RPMs with the shifting of gears, I could tell when to shift. I mean, and I guess that's the case with a lot of bikes. But
right.
And on that note, really the instrumentation is not in the line of sight. Mm-hmm. So it's good that it does talk that way to you.
Yeah.
So that you can you can shift without looking down too much.
Right. Now it is a 700. It's a twin. So was there enough horsepower, enough power, or what?
There is torque in all ranges really too. So gearing down going through town, if I wasn't, it still had it. Like it didn't chug along. So that was a nice power band.
In the sort of category of confidence inspiring for those entry-level intermediate riders, nice brakes, linked braking, easy clutch. So, how did you find it stopping and shifting?
Really sensitive to the braking, had to get used to it, but once I did get used to it, it was there to stop me. And so in turn, that speed that it gets up to,
mm-hmm.
You can stop. The maneuverability of turning some of the country roads we were on today and we were doing U-turns, easy to turn, like some of those country roads are just a lane and a half wide.
Correct.
And easy to do a U-turn on it. And I was aggressively approaching a really tight corner, and I thought, I'm going to take this corner without braking.
Mm-hmm.
But nerves got the best of me, and I felt I better tap the brake a bit. But leading up to that, I had that confidence.
How did you find it as far as the riding position? You said it took a while to sort of find your niche, but once you did?
Yeah, mirrors are great, good visibility on both mirrors. Again, I felt I was sort of snuggled up to the storage compartment here to get the right riding position. But in the end, that was all right, because the foot pegs were in the right position at that point, where versus riding back here, it wasn't the right position.
You mentioned the instrumentation. You were looking around for a tachometer. So tell me about what information you did get. What did you think of this?
Of course, I could see the kilometers per hour, and that's a nice, easy readout. Yeah. And then I did figure out the band, the band where the RPM is here. I did eventually figure that out, but really didn't need to use it based on the engine sound and the engine feel.
Yeah. What did you think about this engine compartment? What did you think of this idea?
Well, I'm not a person to actually store my helmet on a bike. I have the comfort that people won't take my helmet if I even leave it on the foot peg or whatever. But great for today's things that we may be carting around with. If you are on the open road, you know, whether it's your iPad or great storage, and yet at the same time too, no saddlebags, but big cavity there for lots of, or a sweater on these fall days or spring days to throw in to keep you warm.
So Mark, what did you think of the bike in terms of its appearance, its fit and finish?
In typical Honda fashion, fit and finish really is not really a question. They seem to always, they do it right. The profile of it, the blend of the frame with the colors is a knockout, really. So much so that I popped into a gas station, and while I was in there, of course I was in gear, and got asked, "Is that your 700 out there?" So it caught some looks.
Right.
So
somebody was paying attention.
That's right.
So I ask everybody this when we're done the interview. It's like, who would really appreciate owning a motorcycle or get the most from a motorcycle like this?
Great bike for going to and from work every day. So a commute bike. Not so sure of the long haul across country. Another great place for it to be would be the college student who needs transportation. It's for the economical fuel efficiency that it gives, and the fun ride that it gives.
Right.
And the storage compartment to take your homework in.
Oh, so, there you go.
Yeah. So great for the university college student.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is maybe run around, do a little errands, stuff some stuff in there, or running back and forth to school, get your laptop in there. Just an easygoing, have fun motorcycle.
Yeah, and easy fun, easy going, and have your independence.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great job, Mark.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thanks again for making it out here.
Pleasure.
Thanks again, Mark. Next, we'll head back to sunny British Columbia as three-time Dakar competitor Don Hatton discusses how to tackle downhill riding sections while out on the trail. We'll also step back in time to examine a popular motorcycle from 1973 that marked an end of an era. And Kylie will check in with another key feature in our Honda Journo scooter giveaway. So stay with us. Portions of Motorcycle Experience are brought to you in part by Honda Canada, BMW Motorrad, and Triumph Motorcycle. Closed captioning of Motorcycle Experience is brought to you by Motovan. Welcome back as TSN presents The Experience. I'm Dave Hatch, and it's time now to catch up with our rookie street rider, Matt Fletcher. This week he's out in Duncan, BC, getting a lesson from Don Hatton on how to ride downhill.
Don, I have this feeling we're going to be practicing till the cows come home.
Yes, Grasshopper, I know how you feel, but let me tell you this. You'll be so grateful that you learned these things. When we're on that mountain and you come across your first hill, you're not going to be like the other guys. You're not going to freak out and crash. You're actually going to go over the hill and survive. So what we're going to do right now, I'm going to show you the technique involved in you're riding along the road and suddenly there's a steep hill. You don't have time to grab your brakes, you don't have time to do anything.
Yeah.
So all you're going to do is back off, maybe downshift, and let engine braking hold you back. No panic braking, just we're going to let the engine hold us back and we're going to ride down the hill.
Where's your body position while you're doing this?
So I'm going to be in a standing position.
Yeah.
That's a good question. It's going to be similar to the attack position. My knees will be centered over the pegs. My butt will be hanging back, keeping my weight back, stop the front end from washing out.
Okay.
And we'll go down the hill.
All right, perfect.
And when we hit the bottom of the hill, we're going to bottom out. So we're going to have to be prepared for that. Our legs are going to have to absorb that. So hopefully Matt noticed there that I had my butt way back, almost hanging over the backrest. So hopefully he noticed that. No clutch, no brake. It was just plain engine braking. That's all it was. So I'm going to go again, Matt, and you see I didn't use the clutch or the brake.
All right.
So I'm just going to coast down. I'm only using engine speed. So there was no braking. It was just engine braking. That's all I was using.
Okay.
So watch me go over, exaggerating everything. So
all right.
I'm hanging way back, way back. Again, no brakes. My weight was back. The bike was starting to wobble a little bit.
Yeah.
But because my butt was way back, it didn't fall over.
Okay.
So Matt, that was no brakes. That was just the engine braking itself.
That looks really scary.
And that's a good technique when you get caught off guard by a hill. The whole idea behind that is so that you don't panic. You know that the bike can hold itself back. So yes, I was going down there maybe a little faster than you might feel comfortable, but I was in control.
Okay.
So if you'd come over the top at speed and grabbed a handful of brakes, it could have been a messy situation. So it looks a lot steeper than it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. I could do that all day. I really enjoy that.
Well, please don't. I want to get on my bike eventually.
No, you can't have your bike back because I'm really enjoying it.
Thanks, Don.
Okay.
I don't know, Don, you make that look pretty easy. Now there's still plenty more experience ahead. Next, after exploring the site of Woodstock 69, Norm and I make another amazing discovery. What do you call 110 kilometers of pure riding fun and spectacular views? Priceless. Welcome back as TSN presents The Experience. I'm Dave Hatch, and it's time now to catch up with our 7th installment in this season's Ultimate Riding Tour Diary. So after exploring Max Yasgur's dairy farm, the Bethel Center for Performance Arts, and the Woodstock site, Norm and I also make another amazing discovery, one of the best roads in eastern USA. Last fall, Norm and I rode east out of Toronto, looking to spend a couple of days exploring the Catskill Mountains located an hour or so northwest of New York City. Our ultimate destination was the tiny town of Bethel, New York, the site of the famous Woodstock concert back in 1969. Last week, we played a little air guitar, or in Brownie's case, air camera, as we soaked in the site and the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts that now sits next to this hallowed ground. Soon after, we were back in the saddle, riding east with smiles under our visors. Smiles that just continued to widen as we discovered the road to Port Jervis, better known as the Hawk's Nest. Well, Norm, we've got about a half an hour of sunlight left and it's going to get cold, so we've pulled over here in Hancock, and man, just sort of winding down day 2. It's been a great day for riding.
Oh, it's been fantastic. You know, every single road we touched was motorcycling paradise. They were mountainous and hilly and windy and smooth, and we had narrow stuff and wider stuff, and it was just been a fantastic day for riding.
Absolutely, and you know, we hit the Dancing Cat Saloon and the Catskill Distillery, and then we went over to see the Bethel Woods. And you know, someone said to us, well, while you're here, make sure you check out the 97.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, 97, it follows along the upper Delaware River, and man, what a great road for riding.
It was pretty cool till we saw that deer, but other than that, it was it was all good. But obviously, you know, again, riding the fall, it's getting to dusk. Got to watch what you're doing. But the Catskills have really delivered on what they had to offer to us, and we weren't sure what we were going to get when we were coming here. But obviously, it's been wonderful, and I'd recommend it to anybody. You got to get down here and do some riding in this area. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, now one of the things we didn't really get a chance to explore were some of the old resorts, the history here from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, you know, when all the Jewish families used to come up here in the summertime from New York City. There's a pile of resorts, a lot of them are gone now, but the history of that, the Borscht Belt, they used to call it, with you know, the comedians and the musicians, and you know, there's just some great history there, and there's lots of artists now that are in the region, so there's lots to see and do.
Absolutely, and if I remember last night, we were looking at the map just when we were in Oyenta. How many spots were on that map within a 30-mile radius of that area alone? So I mean, it really has a lot to offer, not only motorcycling, but real cool things to come out and see.
Yeah, so as we wind things down, we've decided to make a run into Binghamton, and I guess we'll just grab the remainder of the 17 into Binghamton, and I guess we'll call it a night there, and then get the map out and talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, I think tomorrow we'll head a little bit west of 81 and see if we can't touch on a bit of the Finger Lakes region as we make our way back up to the 401 in Ontario. It's a very cool area as well.
All right, well, the weather's broken. I think it's supposed to be really nice tomorrow, so looking forward to more in this ultimate ride.
Exactly.
Nice stuff.
Now let's turn our attention to this season's contest giveaway. Here's Kylie with all the details.
Thanks, Dave. Because we've been getting a lot of interest in scooters from viewers all across Canada, we thought we'd hold a contest where you could win my cool new Honda Giorno scooter. Here's how the contest is going to work. Each week, we're going to answer some viewer mail about scooters, and you need to remember the subject. So this week, we have an email from Jimmy EY from Victoria, BC. He says the reason he won't buy a scooter is that he doesn't want to ride alone. Well, listen. Remember the old motorcycle ads that you meet the nicest people on a Honda? That was back in the late 60s, back when Dave was born. And guess what? That still holds true today. Most major cities have serious scooter clubs. There are Facebook groups, chat rooms, organized rides, everything. So don't worry, once you get riding, people will stop you on the street to ask you about your scooter. Excellent, so that's this week's contest key feature. Scooters offer a great way to make new friends. Now let's get right down to the nuts and bolts. How to enter the Keys to Kylie's Scooter contest. All you have to do is surf the Motorcycle Experience website and click on the Kylie's Keys link. Provide us with 3 key features or reasons for owning a scooter. Remember, every week I'm going to be giving you a key feature and you only need 3. So send those in and you'll be instantly entered into the draw to win the keys to my scooter, a brand new 2013 Honda Giorno. Pretty cool contest, guys. We'll be drawing a winner in a couple of weeks, and I'll announce who gets the keys to a brand new scooter on our last show of the season. So good luck, everyone.
Next, we'll head down to the Barber Museum in Birmingham, Alabama. Stay with us. Portions of Motorcycle Experience are brought to you in part by Honda Canada, BMW Motorrad, and Triumph Motorcycle. Welcome back as TSN presents The Experience. I'm Dave Hatch, and we'll wrap up our show now by taking a closer look at a very rare 1973 Triumph T100 Daytona. This air-cooled, overhead valve, 500cc motorcycle was named in honor of Triumph's mid-1960s back-to-back victories at Daytona Beach, when after years of domination, riders Buddy Elmore and Gary Nixon knocked Harley-Davidson off the top of the box.
Back in the day, American motorcycle magazines like Cycle and Cycle World gushed about this machine's lightweight and powerful engine. Barber Museum technical consultant Brian Slark picks up the story in this week's Triumph Time Capsule.
This is virtually the end of the line for the 500 twin that started off with the 1938 Speed Twin that we saw earlier. And usually the last motorcycle that's produced in the line is the best. The 500 is named after the Daytona winning. A Triumph won Daytona in 1966 and 1967 on a 500 twin. The feature of this motorcycle is the two carburetors and the high-performance camshafts, and it's a little-known fact that this motorcycle is it was the fastest British 500 production motorcycle. We hear about the BSA Gold Star and the Velocette Thruxton, how fast they were. They were very cantankerous, hard to start, very difficult to ride. This little bike starts easy, runs sweet, and it's actually faster. It had the higher top speed than the sporting singles. So this is the end of the line, but as I say, sometimes the end of the line, they get everything right, and this is a real sleeper. It's very light, small, a quick little bike. When you get into the 70s, everybody was looking for cubic inches, you know, like 650, 750, 850, bigger and bigger and bigger, and a 500 was regarded as a pretty small motorcycle. So over the, say, a 10, 15 year period, everybody moved up and they wanted more torque, more power, more cubes. So this motor got, you know, it was the end of the line for it really. It had its day, but it went out with a flourish. The tanks are unique in that they're all hand striped. These aren't decals. Every tank is striped by hand, and they're all individual. So you're getting something hands-on finish on these motorcycles. It's not an applied decal. There's a real live person striping these things. They were mass-produced, but not we think of mass-produced like Honda, one every 30 seconds. I would say they build about 55 of these a day, and you usually get a couple of guys in the paint shop, and they would paint these freehand, no jigs, or they're just doing freehand. And if you look at the stripes, the stripe would always line up with the badge. So wherever the badge was, they would stripe to the badge. So you're getting a lot of hand assembled, a lot of care and skill in assembly with this motorcycle. If you were successful racing, normally if you're a young guy, you don't want to be seen on a bike that's a loser. You want to be on a bike that wins. You've got to have some bragging rights. That's what it's all about.
Man, what a great piece of motorcycling history. Fast forward some 4 decades, and it's hard to believe that this air-cooled Daytona Twin represents ground zero for the 2013 Triumph Daytona 675R. Today, this super sweet high-tech triple is certainly one of the jewels in Triumph's crown, and provides a great snapshot of just how far road racing machinery has come along since the mid-1960s. Well, that's it for this week's program, folks. We're all out of time, but next week we'll be sampling Triumph's all-new big bore adventure machine, the Tiger Explorer. So till then, keep your feet on the pegs and your right hand cranked. Bye for now.